What's up, everybody? I'm Elisa, the funky Latina, and welcome to Let's Hear It. This is where I interview fellow music lovers as well as artists I'm currently listening to. Tonight, I'll be interviewing Mijita, an artist from the East Coast who just released a single called Tonkatrunk. So, if you have any questions, send them over and I will get to them at the end of the interview. In the meantime, I'd love to see where you're tuning in from, so drop an emoji in the chat to represent your city. Let's give a big welcome to Mijita. Thank you so much for making time this evening. I know you're on the East Coast, so it's a little later over there. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's 9, but it's a cute time. It's like a cute time of the night. You know, it's not too late. It's like it's a nice little time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, let's get into it. I've been a recent fan of yours. I actually discovered you on TikTok through your podcast. And I fell in love with your music. But for anyone who's a new fan, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you currently reside?
Yeah, I'm Mijita. I'm an artist, first and foremost. So I am a painter and a musician, and that's usually what it comes together to be. I'm from the Heights, and I'm from Miami, Florida. So I'm 954 represented, and also in the Heights all the time, which is cool. It's like a dual personality type thing. But I like to make pop music for the girls to dance to, about life and just being in your 20s and being a brown girl living your life, you know?
Yes, I love it. No, definitely. You can definitely hear that in your music. Like, it's fun. It's for the girls. I love it.
Thank you.
I'd love to know, how did you get started, like, making music and, being creative?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing like art stuff my whole life. My parents were very much the type that like they wanted to find what I like to do, and I was always somebody who loved the arts. I've been singing before I could like fully even speak. So I've always been performing and doing anything that I could. And then I started actually releasing music with my family once I got older, because it just took a while for me to get more comfortable with myself and like making my own music and putting my own words to tunes, and the confidence that it comes to being yourself and standing behind your music and your videos and stuff like that. So ever since then, I've been doing with my uncle and my cousin. We make all our music together. So it's fun.
I love that. I love that you work with your family. Like, I'm a solopreneur, and so like anytime I need help with things, like my brothers and my cousin, they're like the first people I go to. Like, they get voluntold most of the time, but it's all love.
Yeah, that's nice though. That's so nice. Yeah, I love creating with my family. I feel like it opens up like so much more comfort in my art, and I feel like I can like make myself like feel free to make more mistakes and to experiment with more things, because it's more of a safe space every time that I'm working with them, which is really nice.
And they know you. They've known you your whole life, and I think like as you make music and you get older, like your music changes, and so I just love that. Like, I can definitely hear the difference from your earlier singles to the most recent stuff, and it's so fun, because the other thing I love about your music too is like, because it's different and it shows like your growth, it also like there's some songs where you can go back to and listen to depending on your mood or like what's happening that day.
Yeah, for sure. I try not to keep myself in a box when it comes to genres. I feel like I like all music. Like, I listen to a little bit of everything, and I like to create what I know that me and my friends are gonna love more than anything else. So like, I just try to like dabble in different genres and feel whatever I really enjoy, and feel whatever I really like find my voice in terms of beats.
That's awesome. I love that. So can you talk a little bit more? You talked a little bit about your family, but how does, your background and your culture influence your music and yourself as a creative?
I feel like everything comes from where I come from. I feel like even when you try not to make things like about where you are and who you are and who you've been, like all we ever are our parents at the end of the day, which is crazy. So I feel like I like to really feed into that, and a lot of my early influences. Like, I feel like I'm always doing something for like the idea that my 13-year-old self would look at it and be like, oh my God, she's so cool. Like, I feel like that's a lot of what I try to emulate in terms of my aesthetics, or a lot of like my creation in general comes a lot from like my inner child, and thinking about what my parents loved and what I've come from, just because I feel like it influences so much of life anyways, that we're always in a cycle and we're constantly looking to it. So I feel like trying to purposely block that out, or trying to make something that's so far away from where I'm from and who I'm from, isn't really true to creation, because there's nothing that's like that anyway.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Like it's funny because I actually showed my niece the temporary love video and like she loved it. She's only like 9. I'm like,
Oh, that's lovely.
don't tell her dad I showed it to her. Just kidding. But no, it's like I knew she would like it because it's like it's pretty and it's fun and it's cute and like she's like, are they dolls or are they real people? And I was like, just watch.
That's so cute. Yeah, thank you. I love that music video so much. I had like, I was trying to, I made the entire concept for it and I was directing that music video as well. And when I put everything together, every single time I was telling my family about the idea, they were like, okay, like, whatever you say, girl. I was like, no, listen, like I made frames, like it's all gonna work out, like it's all good. And they're like, okay. It wasn't until like we actually got on set and they saw everything together that they were like, oh, like, this is what you meant. Like, this is what you were talking about the entire time. Yeah. I felt like I was like crazy up until they saw it all come together. And I was like, see, like, I'm crazy for a reason. Like,
I think like it's hard, like as a creative person, like to even tell your ideas to people because it's like they don't see it. They don't see it like you do. It's like you have to literally show them. And so I'm sure once they got there and they got on set, they're like, oh, now we get it and now we understand.
Yeah. It's also like I feel like I'm a person that I'm very clear with my vision. Like I'll stand in my vision if I'm the only one who believes in it forever, because I'm like I believe in it, so I don't care. So it was the kind of thing where like they trust in what I'm doing because they know that I'm not gonna like put myself in a position where I'm not prepared for anything. Like I'm always the person that comes with like option B, option C, option D, option E. Like I'm always trying to make sure that everything is in line just because I'm that kind of person. So they kind of just they're like, you got this. Like when it comes to stuff like that.
That's awesome. No, I love to hear that. I love to hear like to see creative people and like I call you an artist because like you don't just sing, you don't just write like you know you direct your own music video. Like you're the creative director, you're the director, you're the producer. So there's so many things that go into that. And I'd love to know, you know, for fellow artists who I think, you know, are starting out and like doing it all, do you have any advice for them?
I feel like every time I say the same thing, but it's always I feel like you just got to start. I feel like a lot of creation is people waiting for the perfect moment and waiting for the money or waiting for the opportunity or waiting for everything to fall into place, and that's really never going to happen. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Anything that can fall apart will fall apart, and it'll fall apart way worse than you ever thought it could. So I feel like it's more about messing up really bad until you get to a point where your stuff is good. I feel like we are all art, and I see myself as art, and I see myself as an artist as well as a creation in myself. So I feel like I have to create bad art as well as good art. I feel like you have to like take out all of that energy in any way that you can, and that sometimes comes out to something that's super messy, or sometimes it's something that's super perfect. But either way, it's you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we get like stuck in our head sometimes because maybe we have an idea that's like somebody else's, but it's like you are the only you.
Yeah.
Like you are one of one. Nobody is like you, and so that's what makes it special. That's what makes it unique. I didn't mean to like quote Beyonce, but she lives in my brain. Uh, but that's so I think that's so important and that's great advice. Like so if anyone's listening or watching right now, just start. The first step might be the hardest, but just start. You heard it right here from Mijita. But there's a lot of artists I think right now, like it kind of reminds me of like the 90s, like the Latin wave that was happening back then. Ricky Martin, Gloria Estefan. This is like a lot different. But how do you feel being part of like, you know, I think we're in like a Latinx renaissance. Like every day I can listen to a new song by an artist that looks like me, that is like Afro Latina or Latina, Latina, like whatever. And how do you feel like being a part of that? Do you feel any pressure or pride?
I don't feel any pressure. I feel like there's so much music being made at all corners. There's never like a shortage on music in the entire world, so I don't feel any pressure in myself. I feel like in terms of like standing and being proud of being able to hear like and see people that look like me all the time, it's actually very amazing. I love it so much. I'm like the biggest pioneer for everything. Like I'm constantly trying to look for new music. I'm constantly sharing new music. Like I love the idea. I feel like when I was younger, I used to be into like K-pop and all these other music from different languages and like French music and Spanish music, because I was just loving the idea of hearing all of that. And now that like mainstream media feels like that it's like we're we could go to the club and hear Afrobeats
Yeah.
and also like a K-pop song and then also like a dembo song and all this other stuff. I think that's so fun. Like, I feel like I'm meant for this time.
Yeah.
Like, I love Instagram. I love Twitter. I love that all the music is mixed up. I'm so 2023.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I love that. That's me. Like I went to a show last night and my cousin was like, how do you find all of these artists? And I was like, dude, I make the algorithm work for me. Like when I hear a song on TikTok or Instagram, like I like it, I share it, I talk about it. So it's like I'm always like finding new music. And I mean, like you could probably listen to a new song every day for the rest of your life because music is just like people are making their own music all the time.
yes, and there's so many platforms to listen to music. Like, you'll go on SoundCloud and hear some of the best things you've ever heard in your entire life with 3 other streams and like no followers. Yeah. And it's like the best song you've ever heard in your life. You just gotta look for it. Like, there's so many amazing artists out there. That's why like I'm so big on boosting my peers in any way possible. Yeah. Just because I feel like the people that are right next to you are the people that are making the crazy things. Mm-hmm. Like all the legends that are to be are standing right next to you right now. You just gotta hype them up right now so that way they can get there, you know?
Yeah. No, that's amazing. I love that. So I want to talk a little bit more about you. Can you tell us like what are you working on currently?
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff I'm working on right now. I'm working on some cute Tonkatrunk things in the future, including maybe a remix or something like that. I got a couple projects coming out. I got some music coming out. I know you talked about my podcast, Cacapeo. My co-host, Grace, and I have some stuff coming out at the end of the year as well. We have a project that we're putting together. I have a lot of music that I've been hoarding. I feel like I make a song a day, like every day. So it's just like I have so much stuff that is coming that it's actually scary and spooky a little bit. Like I have so much stuff that I'm ready to put out. But I have a lot coming very soon, within the next 2 weeks.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear it, see it, watch it, and definitely let me know how I could be a resource too.
Of course.
Awesome. So I want to learn a little bit more about like your musical taste and your influences as well. If you could pick either 3 albums, 3 artists, or like 3 songs that would be like the soundtrack to your life, what would that be?
Okay. Life is crazy because life is so long for me to pick up. I could do right now. I could do my soundtracks of right now.
Yeah.
Right now, my top 3 albums that are like literally painting my life right now are Fountain Baby by Amare. I've listened to that album every day since it's come out. Love for Rent by Smino. And I think the third one would have to be... Ooh, now I'm thinking. Probably, I've been listening to all of like a lot of Slick Rick recently. The one specific album, it's like the City of Slick. Now I need to find the exact name, but it's like City of Slick or something. It has like children's story on it, Mona Lisa, like all his the Great Adventures of Slick Rick. That's what it is. I've been listening to that every day.
That's awesome. No, I think that's a really nice little mixture of everything. So that's a perfect little combination. Yeah, I always like to ask that question because it's like that's the other thing I love about music is like you hear a song and it reminds you of something, like it's tied to a memory, and like that's what's so beautiful about music. Like it takes you back. Like are you remember the first time you heard this song, or like if you were like had a quinceañera and then like that was your song or whatever. So yeah, that's what I love about music. It's so powerful. It connects us.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of Slick Rick with my uncle specifically. So that's why it was like, it's just been on my mind a lot recently, especially with like the hip hop 50th anniversary the other day. I feel like I've been in my old head era. Like I can't stop listening to old rap music every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions. We got some questions from your fit into that. And before we wrap up, do you have any questions for me?
Questions. You said you found me on TikTok.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm really a fan of your content. I think you're so cool. I think I think it's so fire that you have a platform and you boost other like Latins like in the community and underground artists. It was so cool to like look at your page and look at all your stuff and see all the other artists. Like you literally put me on. So I don't really have any questions. I just want to be like, whoop, 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 like
thank
shout
you.
out to you. Like
Thank you so much. Yeah, we have to definitely get you out here. I'm in Arizona. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. So we have to get you out here
Ah.
for a show.
Oh, Arizona is crazy.
No.
Yeah, but I'll be there in the 900-degree weather.
Yeah, yeah. I'll bring you either in the fall or the spring. I will.
Okay,
It's too hot.
okay. When there's AC, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, so one question that I had from the audience was, what's one of your favorite songs that you released?
Favorite that I've released. Definitely, I really love Temporary Love a lot. I feel like Tonkatrunk is definitely my favorite. Every time I make a new song, I text my friends and I'm like, this is the best song I've ever made. So like every time I make a new one, I'm like, oh, this is the best one. But Temporary Love, I made at like 3 a.m. by myself in my room, like out of like journal entries and like different little stories and stuff like that. So I had a really fun time with that song, and it took me a really long time to get it to where I wanted it to be for release. So that song is definitely like one of my top up there. But Tonka Truck for sure is the most fun and like the closest to what I feel like my sound really is.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be on like my summertime playlist, Tonka Truck.
Nice, thank you.
Another question I got was, when are you coming to Miami to perform? It's a regionally specific song.
Yeah, very specific. I wish I want to do a show in Miami so bad. I've been talking about it a lot with like anybody I know out there to try to get that to work out. Just because the idea of I want to perform on a beach. I want to be dancing on a beach with my girls. I want to do it bad. Anybody who wants me in their town, stop telling me.
Yeah.
Tell your venues.
Yes.
What can I do?
I'm just a girl. The booking agents, pull up.
Yeah, like
slide in the
tell the other people, like, I don't got nothing. I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best. Like,
I love that. That's hilarious. Awesome. Okay, one more question, and this is a question I ask all of my interviewees, and I'd love to know if you can remember, what was the first concert you went to?
Easy. Hannah Montana, Jonas Brothers. I went with my cousin. I remember specifically because I touched Joe Jonas's hand.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I remember this day. I was like, this means a lot to me, and this will mean a lot to me in the future. So I remember that. Yeah.
Amazing. So you are a true pop girly.
That is. I've been in it. I've been in it.
You're not new to this. This is who you are. No. That's amazing. Well, before we wrap up, can you tell us, where do we follow you? How can we support you?
Yeah.
Where can we next?
Yeah, it's Mijita with 2 T's on all platforms. Not Mijita with 2 T's on streaming platforms, but just on all like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of those. I have a lot of stuff coming up. I got some remixes that I'm putting out soon. I got a lot of shows that I'm doing soon. I got a show tomorrow in Brooklyn. It's BYOV, Bring Your Own Vibe. It's a little creative mixer that they're doing in Brooklyn that I'm going to be at, and I'm announcing a very big show for next month very soon. So everybody needs to be in Brooklyn in September, is what I'm hearing.
Get ready. Book the flights.
Yeah.
Get your hotel. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Mijita, for hanging out with me. I love chatting with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll be following you, sending you lots of fast love and funk from Arizona.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a good night.
So nice to speak to you. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight with me and Mijita. Make sure you go check out her new single, Tonka Truck. Also check out Temporary Love. You can find that on my playlist, my Funky Friday playlist. And thank you. Yeah, I had so much fun chatting with her. Can't wait for the next interview. Have a beautiful rest of the week. Sending you off fast love and funk.